1st of April 2025. Yeah, we're just beginning April, and that's why I'm confused. You know, I was still in March. Now it is April. All right, so after Eid Barak, was it? Yesterday, a holiday that was coming just right in time. We have the political aspects coming with us. Now, the President Ruto has decided to visit Mount Kenya after a lot of time, a lot of months that have collapsed before he went back. Remember, the last time he went there, he was talking about his prospects to improve Mount Kenya region and the markets that he had just financed, and now this is the time. Now, when we look at the videos that are showing interviews with our president, we are actually seeing that he's very confident. In one interview, he was just hinting how Gachagua had told him he would be a 5-year president. So, how about that? Now, we are going to see some of the, the expectations of Kenyans as he's going to this region. Some of the expectations are that the Mount Kenya leaders are not happy, apart from few, yeah. So yesterday, of course, we saw 2 leaders warning the citizens, that is Sabina Chege and who else? Yeah, they were warning citizens against being paid to cause violence, or rather, being hired as goons that will have to create fracas in meetings. Now, why was this being said? It is a culture in Kenya that most times when a political leader is getting to a place and maybe they have issues with a certain person, then automatically we have situations of fracas caused, goons being hired to destroy. Now, before that, I had seen a vehicle of one of the political leaders having been broken. The front part had been broken, and he was complaining to the police commissioner about what had happened. Now, let's get to one of the interviews as President Ruto is talking about what he's going to do in Mount Kenya region. So let's check on this. And after that, we can talk more about the prospect of what will happen in the 5-day tour.
President William Ruto will tomorrow. He was incompetent. However,
morning.
What looked like pouring cold water on the narrative of targeting Mount Kenya leaders, the President went ahead to appoint Mbeere North legislator Geoffrey Ruku as his replacement. President Ruto is expected to start his tour in Gashagua's backyard of Nyeri County and Laikipia, proceeding to Meru and Kirinyaga counties on Wednesday. On Thursday, Raj will make its way to Nyandarua and Murang'a counties, finalizing his tour in Gimbi Kithure Kindiki's backyard of Tharaka Nithi, Outreach, Kiambu County on Friday. The tour comes after months of speculation that Ruto avoiding the region amid fears of backlash. Former Deputy Rigathi Gachagua, on the flip side, used his ouster to endear himself to the region, that has seemingly worked, jeopardizing President Ruto's relationship with the region. The president's itinerary includes projects in key sectors such as road infrastructure, affordable housing, fresh produce markets, last-mile electricity connectivity, water and irrigation. President Ruto is expected to inspect the ongoing construction of the Mau Mau Road in Lari constituency, which recently received a 5 billion allocation. In a bid to mend fences, Ruto has been treading carefully. These recent principal secretary shuffles paired leaders from the region, 7 new state departments to accommodate opposition allies. Earlier on, President Ruto had appointed former President Uhuru Kenyatta's
Alright, so it has not been rosy for President Ruto after, Gashagua's exit. And after that, of course, he picked Kithure Kindiki. Then after that, we had continuous political issues. Now, recently, you had Ndindi Nyoro after the reshuffles. He had talked about betrayals. Now, the word betrayal has been common for Mount Kenya region, and regardless of having picked Kithure Kindiki and then later on pulled in Raila Odinga, it looks like it's not rosy for him anymore. So this region, looks at him as one just playing them, they feel cheated, and they are thinking Ruto is in to support somebody else when it comes to the next elections. So what do we expect now as he's going to move from Laikipia to Nyandarua to Meru to Nyeri and the different regions in the 5-day tour? When you look at the inbox, many people are like, okay, everything will be fine, and others are like, he's wasting time because the Mount Kenya people now know him, and of course they'll do what is expected of them. Now, amid the declaration that he will be visiting these places, one was that he would be carrying a bag of gold. And for me, that interpretation tells me that is money. Now, I remember there is a time Gachagua told his people that when he comes with money, just pick it, but do not vote him in. Now, I do not know exactly what the citizens in Mount Kenya region will do, but from the many social media aspects and from the discussions on media, it is probably going to be a tour that might change the situations, with some looking at him positively and some negatively. Now remember, he's launching programs like the markets that were built long ago, and of course they were in place when Gachagua was in with him. Then now we have some few roads and all that. And so we are thinking, what will be the reaction from the Mount Kenya region? Now, if you have anything to do with comment about what will happen, I really welcome you on board to share and comment, because this is exactly what political analysis means. In an interview, the full interview facing Mount Kenya, this is what happened, and let me just check it and share with you. Now, somebody was like, trust is like a glass. Once it's broken, it cannot be repaired. Look at that analogy, right? Trust and a glass. And if broken, no repair. So according to some people, it's like once the trust between the Mount Kenya people and President Ruto was broken, there is no repair. What do you think about this? Somebody says he has answers to every question. Who you President Kweli Kweli. So it's like, okay, however crafty he may be, however much it's not possible to give the results, but he has answers for everything. Amir says hi. Yeah. So another inbox aspect is a president who is campaigning to be a president. Even he doesn't believe he's a president. Somebody says Ruto must go. What do you think about this? Is this visitation of Mount Kenya a campaign? And of course, Kenya, that's what people do. Elections are over, and immediately after elections, somebody reads the ground and starts campaigning immediately. And why did somebody talk about a bag of gold? Possibly that's a bribe, if we have to refer to that in the correct way. Yeah, somebody said on the interview, the man makes our development rights seem like privileges. Yeah, so the way he talks, it's like, okay, I've offered you this, I've given you this, I've built this market. So it's like, it's a privilege. Your right is a right. Development in a country is a right the citizens deserve because they pay tax. And remember, in Kenya, that's one of the countries where we are being overtaxed. You are taxed when you're buying products, you're taxed when you're traveling, you're taxed on using internet, you're taxed. Yeah, so it's taxed everything. Therefore, development is expected in everything, and therefore, when the president talks about development, it shouldn't be like a privilege which citizens are receiving. Now, another one says, I have seen liars in my life. But he is another category. He has the audacity to say he has a report to show how he has fulfilled his promises. Kwani are Kenyans living in a different country than him? He has no shame at all. He must go. So looking at just the few inbox responses during the interview that President Ruto had on Mount Kenya, then we are not very fine with whatever is happening in the country, and therefore his visitation to Mount Kenya is a sham, right? It's a sham, because Why can't he sit in the office and just ensure developments are being done? Why should he begin road shows, road tours? Yeah. Remember the other day they were in Nairobi and an American, no, a citizen of UK was hit in a hit and run situation. And these were presidential vehicles, remember? And nothing, after that I've not heard anything apart from the fact that that driver was arrested, and then after that I've not heard anything actually. Clinton TV, hi. Hi, I recognize you, and there are many more live. Thank you for watching. So I'm going to just play some part of the interview, and I don't know what you feel about what you heard here, but you've heard my comments. The comments I've just read from what people are sharing. Yeah, so let me just turn the screen and we can listen to this.
Zinaendelea aus 3.000 Euro über 1 Million. Klingt unglaublich. Genau das habe ich geschafft. Und hostel zinaendelea, barabara ndio hizo nimekamilisha karibu wiki moja imepita. Zaidi ya bilioni 170 tumepata kutoka market kwa sababu tumechunga uchumi wa Kenya. Sasa barabara za Maumau zinaendelea sehemu tofauti tofauti. Kwa mfano, wacha nikueleze. Barabara za Maumau tuko na kilomita 560. Kiambu, Murang'a, Nyeri, sehemu kidogo Nyandarua, sehemu kidogo Embu, sehemu kidogo Tharaka Nithi. Hizo barabara kwa ujumla is above 55% zikiendelea. Ile kidogo nimepata matatizo nayo ni barabara ya pale barabara ambayo inaunganisha Maragwa, Kandara, Kiharu na Kangema. It's about 31 kilometers. Hiyo ndio kidogo iko chini about 5%. Na tayari tumezungumza na contractor pale. So now some of those roads I am going to inspect them because they are going on in my trip. Asante mheshimiwa. Vile acha tu nikueleze. Vile kwa sababu ni vizuri nikueleze na niwaeleze wananchi wa hapa vile nilienda China mwaka uliopita 2023 na nikapata pesa karibu shilingi bilioni 36 ya barabara. Kwa hiyo shilingi bilioni 36 nilichukua bilioni 15 nikaweka hapa Mlimani. Hapa Nyeri hapa nimeweka barabara ya kutoka Ishamara kwenda Rutune mpaka kwa river pale, hiyo kilomita karibu 45 inaunganisha Mkuruweni na Tetu. Nimeweka
let me skip to another part of the interview and see what he's saying.
Barabara wale wakora ambao wamekuwa wakihujumu kilimo ya kahawa. What did we do? Nilichukua reforms ya kahawa nikalete kwa office of the president. Tuka separate millers, tuka separate brokers, na tukahakikisha kwamba kila mtu ako na leseni moja. Pia nikatransfer, nikasema hii Nairobi Coffee Exchange tukalete watu wa CMA into the equation. Ile kahawa ilikuwa inalipwa baada ya miezi 6, leo inalipwa baada ya siku 5 to the cooperatives. Mpango yangu by June this year haitakuwa inalipwa kwa cooperative, itakuwa inalipwa kwa mkulima.
Okay, I'll pull again to another
mpaka iwe minimum price ambaye mkulima atapata kwa chai kwa kilo moja ni shilingi 100. That way we will make sure that even the low farmers who have low acreage pia wanapata mapato. Mekujibu hiyo. Mambo ya mobilization na wale wana mobilize na wale wanakuwa mobilized, hiyo ni mambo ya siasa, na hiyo ni mambo ya siasa, itaendelea tu hivyo. Mobilization ni mambo ya siasa, huyu ana mobilize wa kukaribisha rais.
Okay,
with real
the
jobs,
last part.
Earning real money, even in the context of what we are doing. And there are real things happening. You know, are we building the markets? Yes. Are we building housing? Yes. Have we tendered for hostels? Yes. Are the roads now ongoing? Yes. Are we doing universal health coverage? I made a commitment that we are going to change the infrastructure.
Hi, welcome to Reliable Missionary Factory. Here I introduce
All right,
to you
when you listen to our president, you can actually laugh and laugh your lungs out, because the problems Kenyans are actually facing on the ground, and his promise and assurance, certainty, the audacity to tell us that everything is okay, it's very, very funny. I read about satire for a long time, but I didn't know I would experience this. But actually, currently, we are experiencing it because our president takes us for a fool, for fools, And he has a very good tongue, a sweet one. He has also the flow of words. When somebody is confident and they're fluent, actually, you can't beat them in their game. Now, this is where our president outbeats most oppositional people and those who talk against him. Because when he goes to an interview, it's like he rehearses the whole night, and he has all the answers to the questions the media will ask. And he flows. He doesn't even allow the journalists to stop him when he's speaking. Now, we just saw the interview that I was sharing with you, Facing Mount Kenya, the citizen interview that happened at Sagala. And you can actually see how the president lies without blinking, yeah? And he assures Kenyans without blinking. And he really proves a point. He's very defensive, actually. There is no way he can say he has a challenge, that Kenyans are facing this problem in health. He cannot say that the housing, though we are going on, many Kenyans are not satisfied. And indeed, it's like this is a project that is just benefiting few people who know why it started anyway, because most Kenyans were not interested. So when you look at this interview, you understand what I was telling you. Yeah, the much I've told you about what actually happens in the government and who our president is. That's actually who he is, a confident liar that tells us without blinking. And of course, you can't beat him in this game. He's an expert. An expert in facing Kenyans and telling them what they would wish to have had. But on real grounds, they don't have it, but he tells them they have it. Now, guys, what do you think about this? So I've just told you the 5-day tour that the president will be having at around Mount Kenya region. And I'm like, okay, what do you expect? So come to the comment section if you have any idea about what you expect. And is there any change you're going to see? Do you think the Mount Kenya people will appreciate? Already on the inbox, I've told you, somebody has said, trust is like a broken glass. And once you break it, there's no way you can repair it, right? So do you trust in this statement, or do you have any other thought of what the Mount Kenya people will do? Do you believe that by having picked Kithure Kindiki and walking around with him, it would give a different face? And he's, of course, targeting the project he seemingly says he's done in Mount Kenya. Will that change the hearts of Mount Kenya people and make them feel like we are on board? So, still, this has a perspective that is trying to build on Kenyans in general. What do you think generally Kenyans will think of the president through the 5-day tour? Is it a campaign strategy? Yeah? Is it a campaign for presidential seat? Somebody says he doesn't trust he's a president, and that's why he still goes around talking about how Gachagua told him he will be only a 5-year term. Does he fear? Is there fear? Now, getting back to why he had to, welcome Raila Odinga on board, some people are like he was not confident about how things were running in government, and he was so much dependent on Raila. Regardless of having rejected the handshake, he still had to welcome this idea because he knew without this man, then everything was falling apart. So, these are hard politics that we have to face every day in Kenya, and no wonder things are very tough when we look at the health sector, look at education, look at, the economy in general. Things are not very good, and I think the situation is from the top to the bottom. Yeah, so considering this Mount Kenya trip and any other incidences in the government, I really welcome your comments to the comment section, and I feel like it's time we talk about this, yeah? It's not a discussion by one person, two people. but everybody else. As we keep reminding people about respecting the president, what exactly do we expect of him? What are his downfalls and what are our expectations of him? So we should keep talking about this so that, of course, we remind him, because currently we don't have the opposition to talk about what is happening in the government. It's just citizens and content creators and maybe journalists at some point. Yeah, you saw the other video that I collected from Standard and what Standard had been commenting on what had been happening in government entirely. So do you believe that Standard is going the right way by giving the headlines that actually say what is happening as it is, plainly, yeah, without fear? Yeah, so this is a discussion that we cannot stop today or tomorrow, because we say man is a political being, and therefore we see what we see and we talk about it. We can write about it in literature, we can have it in content creation, and every move tells us there is something ahead. And therefore we must raise our nose and talk about it. So bye-bye for now as we get to other discussions in other areas, social matters, educational matters, and have a good day.